Hi, so I've wanted to make a video about AI for a long time, especially because I've already made 2 videos, but both of those haven't been very good. One was really old, and the other one was just kind of not that informative, which is something I acknowledged in that video. But this is going to be a much longer one, especially since I've been doing that new thing with my videos where I explain it in this video, right in the corner. But I've been doing a lot of different things with my channel, and basically this is going to be a much longer and in-depth explanation of AI. So, a lot of this has started from conversations I've had about AI with other people, but yeah, I finally decided to make this. So, without further ado, this is my video essay on AI. I'm going to split this video into sections. The first thing I'm going to talk about is AI chatbots, like ChatGPT, which you've probably heard of. And if you're someone who doesn't know about what an AI chatbot is, I'll explain. Basically, it is an AI that you can converse with or have a conversation with, basically through texting. And they have gotten really realistic to the point where you can ask them to type out basically anything you could think of, and they will do it. But they raise a lot of questions about a lot of topics. I will talk about, in a later part of this video, the idea of whether AI is or isn't just a tool, and are AI artists actually artists, but that comes later. The main thing is, at what point does an AI get to be considered alive/sentient? And I'm just going to clarify those are 2 different things, but I'm going to be using them in 2 different contexts. But basically, there's a thing where, theoretically, let's say you go outside and touch grass, but you also pick up a flower. That flower is technically more alive than the AI because it's a physical object that is alive, but it's not as sentient as the AI. So, which one would be technically closer to a person? Would it be the flower, which is a physical object, but is also not sentient? It couldn't communicate with humans. Sure, plants may have some level of very, very basic intelligence, but they're nowhere close to as sentient as an AI is. So is the AI closer to humans because it can think and it can have a conversation with humans, which is something that people won't really ever know because, like, it's very confusing because the flower can live and die, so it is a living thing. But does that mean that the AI isn't alive because it couldn't die? So that's one of the most confusing and impossible to answer questions surrounding AI. This part's going to be a lot less definitive as the other things, because this is something that very much with AI we still don't have too much of a grasp on what's going to happen with it, because AI is something where it's constantly and very quickly evolving. AI is still relatively pretty new, and comparative to other things that we've had for a while, AI is still, like, early, and it's also evolving quickly. Like, if you were not paying attention to AI, and you paid attention to it like a year ago, and then started paying attention to it again now, it would be so much different. It would be so different. This part probably won't be as long as the other thing, because AI deepfakes are easier to talk about a bit. They're still confusing. For those who don't know, an AI deepfake is basically an AI that has the ability to take anyone's voice and almost completely mimic it. They're surprisingly good at it. They're another example of things that people are able to use with AI to mimic real stuff. This will get brought up back again in the AI art part of this video. But AI deepfakes are basically a program that just finds someone's voice and basically figures out how to take anyone else's voice and map it onto that voice. So, again, there will be stuff brought up about this with, is AI just a tool? But other than that, that's mostly what AI deepfakes are. There is a lot of stuff about how they have been used for some bad things. An example being, scam callers have found that they can use those to more easily trick people into giving away their credit card information and stuff. But other than that, it's basically just that. There's not much to debate about them. Or if there is, there's not much stuff I haven't seen. Which is a good point to mention. If you have a differing opinion than mine, definitely put it in the comments. I love reading and hearing about people who have different opinions than mine. I'd probably also, debate it if I have a counter argument. But yeah, go debate what your idea is in the comments. And now the part that is probably going to be the longest section of this video, and the most complicated one, AI art. This is the thing that I mostly wanted to make my video about, because it is something that I've actually been wondering about myself for some things, which I'm going to get into later. But AI art is basically an AI that can create images, and this seems pretty simple, but it gets to some weird stuff pretty quickly. There's a lot of questions raised about plagiarism when it comes to this, because basically, and now this is a major oversimplification of how AI art works, but basically it takes other art and looks at it and uses that to understand what things are supposed to look like when it creates its own art. So people have made the case that means the AI art is copying / plagiarizing other people's art. And this is the part where it gets strange, because you could make that argument and it could make a good amount of sense. But there's also the fact that that's literally how humans learn. No art that people create is purely just someone creating something without it being influenced by anyone else's art. Everyone's art is always going to be influenced by someone else's ideas, thoughts, their emotions, their art. Basically, everything that someone makes is going to be influenced by something else they saw. So theoretically, you could just say the AI is just making art like how humans make art. So there's a lot of debate around that on the internet. In my opinion, which no one needs to take as fact, and no one needs to get really annoyed at, in my opinion, it's not plagiarism unless you're actively using it to try and plagiarize something. Though, this is the part where I'm going to bring up AI artists. No, in my opinion, AI artists are not artists. If you're typing some words and getting an image, that is not really art, because it is kind of impossible to define what is art, which is one of the reasons why it has made this massive, big debate all the more confusing, because how do you label what is and what isn't art? But AI artists are commonly agreed that they probably are not artists. AI artists are basically people who will make tons of AI art and say it is their own art, even though really all they did was just type in some words and get a image back. Basically, one of the main arguments is that they're just using AI as a tool, which makes sense at the beginning, but it starts to kind of make less sense, because theoretically you could say that about anything. You could, you could probably like go to a restaurant, buy some food, take that food and serve it as food that you made because you used just that restaurant as a tool. So most likely AI artists aren't artists, but AI art is still used for some things. So now this is the part where it gets into a lot more of the debates about AI art, and the part that was kind of the inspiration and idea why I wanted to make this video, which is a lot of AI art has been confusing, especially with when AI art's combined with deepfakes to create fake, basically, videos of someone talking. Then it can lead to a lot of things where it's easy to basically troll or even scam people using the AI, which is strange and basically a gray area when it comes to the laws around that, which there's probably going to be some laws coming into action about AI a lot more now. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is because basically I was posting a video and then I noticed that on YouTube, when they post something, they have a new checkbox in the list of things you have to check off when you're posting a video. That is, does your content include AI generated content, which was something that first kind of confused me because I had never seen that before, and I wondered if I had just never seen it. But then I started reading it more, and I was thinking about something, because parts of my videos are technically AI generated. Not like an AI is writing the scripts or I'm using an AI deepfake, but the background I use in both most of my shorts and most of my videos is AI generated. And this is the part where it started to get confusing, because I kept reading that checkbox, and I felt like the AI generated images that I was using actually fell into a like mid ground between not using AI and using AI in that definition, because I'm going to put the definition up on screen, but basically it stated a lot of stuff. But one of the things was, the main thing was, does it make someone say or do something that they're not actually doing? So that's why I wanted to make this video. Did the AI generated images that I used technically qualify as that? And then that opens the again, the thing of, is using AI as a tool okay? Because I didn't create that image, but an AI did. So if I were to, so then it would get confusing. Let's say my YouTube channel got popular and I wanted to make merch with the background I use in my YouTube videos. That would get into a weird gray area, because I never made those designs, and technically no one did. It was an AI that's provided by the editing software I use, meaning would they technically have ownership over that AI generated image? That's where it gets confusing. But I am probably going to, I actually didn't do that research. That's something I just started thinking about. I probably should have done research on before making this video, but I will put up all the research I've done on that up on screen right now to see if there's any laws about that or rules or anything. But that's where AI starts to get confusing. It starts to get confusing around a lot of laws and stuff like that, because you have there's no way to basically make definitive laws on what is art, because I actually kind of made a video about this a long time ago about what qualifies as music, because it's again something like that where it's completely subjective, and that would be fine. But something that's completely subjective, but then there's money involved with how a lot of art people do try and monetize it, that's when it gets weird, because it's something that is really subjective, but there's money involved in it, so there needs to be like levels. There needs to be at least some level of laws surrounding that. which is basically where I'm going to end this video off. Basically, I'm going to end it off with the idea that if you want to, create your own definition on what you think art is, and if you want, share it in the comments, because that's basically what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be talking about all of that, and then giving you the ability to create what you think your own definition of art is, because basically, in the end, art is just whatever people decide is art. So whatever you decide is art is probably art. But I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching. I hope people like the new direction I've been taking my YouTube videos in, with the much longer video essays. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.